Golden light from the morning sun poured through the cracked blinds of Khloe Martinez's modest apartment, anonymity fan painting warm streaks across the weathered hardwood floor. In front of a chipped full-length mirror, Khloe stood, her navy blazer faintly frayed at the cuffs but meticulously pressed. She adjusted it for what seemed like the 100th time, her fingers shaking as she smoothed her dark hair into a tidy ponytail. At Arsurar, newly graduated from college, she bore the weight of her dreams and her grandmother's sacrifices on her shoulders. Today was the moment she'd been preparing for, her interview at Sterling Communications, the city's premier marketing firm, a place where careers were forged and futures secured. From the small kitchen, the aroma of fresh coffee mingled with slightly burnt toast, filling the air. Rita Martinez, Khloe's 24-year-old grandmother, shuffled in, her smile deepening the wrinkles around her warm brown eyes. Her silver hair pinned back with the same care she'd always shown, even during double shifts at the hospital cafeteria to fund Khloe's education. "You've got this, Mija," Rita said, her voice firm yet warm, stating a fact rather than offering mere encouragement. She pressed a travel mug of coffee into Khloe's hands, its chipped rim a quiet reminder of their shared hardships. "That company would be fortunate to have you." Khloe managed a nervous smile, gripping her leather portfolio, a graduation gift from Rita that cost more than they could afford. "The interview's at Jur Sharp," she said, glancing at her phone. "Mr. Thompson said they don't tolerate tardiness." It was Sansers, and she had 2 buses to catch to reach downtown. Rita's eyes softened. "Remember what I always say, Khloe, kindness opens more doors than ambition ever will." Khloe nodded, though her mind raced with talking points about Sterling's latest campaigns, luxury watches, social media growth. This wasn't just a job, it was her chance to give Rita the life she deserved after years of sacrifice. She kissed her grandmother's cheek, grabbed her bag, and stepped out, hope pressing heavily against her chest. The first bus arrived on time, a small miracle in Khloe's world. She claimed a window seat, her portfolio open on her lap as she reviewed her notes one final time. Sterling Communications was a giant in the marketing world, and Khloe had memorized every detail. Client portfolios, campaign metrics, even the CEO's public statements on innovation. The junior marketing coordinator role was her dream, a stepping stone to a career that could lift her and Rita out of their cramped apartment and constant financial strain. Her phone buzzed with a text from her best friend, Nena Foster. "Break a leg today. You'll crush it. Coffee celebration tonight, no matter what." Khloe smiled, grateful for Nena's unwavering support. They'd been roommates until last month when Khloe moved back in with Rita to save money. Nena, pulling double shifts at a downtown coffee shop to afford her own studio, understood the grind better than anyone. As the bus wound through the city, Khloe watched the scenery shift from modest row houses to towering glass skyscrapers. Men and women in crisp suits strode purposefully along the sidewalks, their lives seemingly untouched by the struggles Khloe knew so well. She pictured herself among them, a professional with a steady paycheck, health benefits, and the ability to treat Rita to more than just toast and coffee. The second bus arrived on schedule, and by Joe Sherwood, Khloe was set to reach Sterling with Sherwood minutes to spare, ideal for a final review of her notes. 3 blocks from her destination, the bus jolted to a halt. Horns blared outside and Khloe pressed her face to the window, her heart sinking. A sleek black Mercedes had stalled in the right lane, its hood raised, snarling traffic during the morning rush. The driver, a man in a charcoal suit, paced beside the car, phone pressed to his ear, his dark hair mussed from running his hand through it. Khloe checked her phone. Source. She could still make it if traffic cleared soon, but each passing minute tightened the knot in her stomach. Other passengers grumbled, some disembarking to walk. Khloe's gaze flicked back to the man by the Mercedes. He looked frustrated but not angry, apologizing to drivers who shouted as they navigated around him. Something about his posture, the way he checked his watch, the genuine regret in his gestures, tugged at her. Rita's words echoed, "Kindness opens more doors than ambition ever could." But helping him meant risking her interview, her one shot at Sterling. She glanced at her watch again. Joel, Sishirar, the interview was at Tifan Shu Ling. If she got off now, she'd have to run 6 blocks in heels, portfolio in hand, and might still arrive late. Her dream job hung in the balance, but so did the lesson Rita had instilled in her since childhood. Help when you can, even when it's inconvenient. With a deep breath, Khloe stood, decision made. "Excuse me," she told the driver, "I need to get off here." "No." The driver raised an eyebrow. "Lady, we're stuck in traffic. You sure you want to walk from here?" "Oh, I'm sure," Khloe said, stepping off into the chaotic symphony of honking horns and exhaust fumes. Khloe wove through the gridlocked cars, her heels clicking on the pavement as she approached the stranded Mercedes. The man was still on his phone, his voice tight with stress. "Carlos, I need another car ASAP. The engine's dead, and I'm blocking half the street." "Excuse me," Khloe called, raising her voice over the noise. "Do you need some help?" He turned surprised, his sharp features softened by kind hazel eyes. His suit screamed wealth, but his expression was genuine, almost relieved. "That's really kind of you," he said, ending his call. "But you look like you're headed somewhere important. I don't want to hold you up." Khloe glanced at her watch. "Joe, Sisherwu, I've got an interview in Sherwood minutes, but maybe I can help quickly." "What's wrong with the car, He gestured helplessly at the Mercedes. "Engine just died. No warning, no strange noises." "A tow's coming, but it'll take at least sensor minutes. Mind if I take a look?" Khloe asked, setting her portfolio on the sidewalk. He raised an eyebrow, intrigued but skeptical. "In that outfit?" "The suit's new, but the skills aren't," she said with a small smile. "My uncle owned a garage." "Odd garage. I learned a few things growing up." She nodded toward the hood. "Pop it for me." He hesitated, then leaned into the car to release the latch. Khloe rolled up her sleeves, careful not to smudge her blazer, and peered into the engine bay. The Mercedes was pristine, a maze of wires and components, but she'd seen enough breakdowns with her uncle Miguel to spot common issues. Her eyes caught a loose negative battery terminal, its cable slightly detached. "Here's your problem," she said, pointing. "The terminal's loose, probably vibrated free in traffic." "Seriously?" he said, leaning in. "That's it?" "I know. Sometimes the simplest things cause the biggest messes," Khloe replied, carefully reconnecting the cable. Her manicured nails, done for the interview, scraped against the metal, but she didn't flinch. "Try starting it now." He slid into the driver's seat, turned the key, and the engine roared to life, smooth and steady. He stepped out, his face a mix of amazement and gratitude. "I can't believe it," he said, shaking his head. "You just saved my morning. How can I thank you?" Khloe wiped her hands on a tissue from her purse and checked her watch. Jules Sigerbad, her heart sank. She was out of time. "No need to thank me," she said, forcing a smile as she grabbed her portfolio. "I'm just glad I could help. You know?" He noticed her sudden tension. "You're late for that interview, aren't you? Because of me." It's a job interview," Khloe admitted, trying to hide her disappointment. "Han chaff find." "But it's fine. There'll be other chances." The words rang hollow even as she spoke them. Sterling was her shot, and she'd just thrown it away for a stranger. "Let me drive you," he offered, opening the passenger door. "It's the least I can do." Khloe hesitated. Getting into a stranger's car wasn't in Rita's rule book. But his sincerity, his apologies to other drivers, and the gratitude in his eyes made her trust him. I don't even know your name, she said, moving toward the door. James, he replied, holding it open. And you are Khloe Martinez, she said, sliding into the leather seat. The interview's at Sterling Communications on 5th Street. A flicker of something, surprise, perhaps recognition, crossed James's face, but it vanished quickly. Buckle up, he said. We'll get you there. James drove with the precision of someone who knew the city streets intimately, weaving through traffic with calculated efficiency. Khloe gripped her portfolio, glancing at the dashboard clock. Joe Woosher R. Jode Woosher Suze. Joe Woo Sherlock. So, what's this interview for? James asked, his tone light despite the urgency. Junior marketing coordinator, Khloe replied, checking her reflection in the visor mirror. It's my dream job. I've been prepping for months, studying their campaigns, their clients, everything. What makes it your dream? He asked, taking a sharp turn down a side street. Khloe's face lit up, her nerves briefly forgotten. Marketing's about telling stories that connect with people. Sterling's campaigns, like their luxury watch series, are bold, innovative. I want to create that kind of impact, build brands that mean something. James nodded, clearly impressed. You sound like you were born for it. They pulled up to Sterling's gleaming glass building at Jur, Chi. Khloe's heart sank. 7 minutes late. Thank you, she said, grabbing her portfolio and bolting from the car. I owe you one. Good luck, Khloe. James called after her, but she was already sprinting toward the lobby. Inside, the marble floors and sleek decor screamed success, but the receptionist's stern face stopped Khloe cold. I'm Khloe Martinez, here for my interview with Mr. Thompson, she said. The receptionist glanced at her computer, her expression icy. Mr. Thompson doesn't see candidates who arrive after Ling. He left for another meeting 5 minutes ago. Khloe's stomach dropped. Is there any way to reschedule? There was a car emergency and… Mr. Thompson doesn't reschedule. The woman cut her off, not looking up. Good day, Miss Martinez. Khloe stood frozen, surrounded by Sterling's awards and campaign posters she'd studied for months. Her portfolio felt like a dead weight in her hands. All her work, Rita's sacrifices, her late-night studying, her dreams of stability, slipped away in that pristine lobby. Khloe walked out of the building in a daze, the noise of the city muffled as if she were underwater. Her heels tapped the sidewalk, but each step felt heavier than the last. She'd failed. She didn't even get the chance to show them who she was. She found a bench across the street, sat down, and let her portfolio rest on her lap. The glossy leather cover mocked her, weeks of preparation for nothing. Her phone buzzed with a text from Rita. How'd it go? Khloe stared at the screen, her throat tight. She couldn't tell Rita the truth, not yet. She slipped the phone back into her purse, fighting tears. Rough day? A familiar voice asked. She looked up, startled. James stood there, his suit jacket now draped over his arm, his expression softer than before. You followed me? Khloe asked, half suspicious, half touched. Not exactly, he said with a small smile. I had a meeting in the building next door. Saw you walk out, looking like the world just collapsed. Khloe laughed bitterly. That's about right. He sat beside her, leaving a respectful space. They didn't give you a chance? She shook her head. Late by 7 minutes, that was enough for them to shut the door. No exceptions. James frowned. That's harsh, especially for a company that prides itself on creativity. Khloe hugged her portfolio to her chest. It's not just a job, it was stability. My aunt's counting on me, and I thought this was my chance to finally give back. James studied her, his expression unreadable, then said, Sometimes rejection isn't the end. It's redirection. She rolled her eyes. That sounds like something on a motivational poster, maybe. he admitted, chuckling, but sometimes those posters are right. Before Khloe could reply, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his jaw tightening briefly before he slid it back into his pocket. Look, I know I'm a stranger, and this might sound forward, but how about lunch? My treat. It's not going to fix what happened, but it might keep today from feeling like a total disaster. Khloe hesitated. Lunch with a stranger wasn't on her to-do list, especially after the morning she'd had. But something about James, the way he listened, the calm confidence he carried, made her want to say yes. Yo, all right, she said cautiously, but only if it's quick. I still need to figure out what to do next. Yo, James grinned. Deal. He led her a few blocks away to a quiet cafe tucked between two high-rises. The place smelled of fresh bread and coffee, the kind of spot locals cherished but tourists rarely found. They sat by the window, sunlight streaming in, so James began, after they ordered. Tell me more about you. Beyond interviews and saving stranded strangers, Khloe smiled faintly. Not much to tell. I grew up in Queens. My parents passed when I was young, so my Aunt Rita raised me. She runs a flower shop. Life wasn't easy, but she made sure I had opportunities. I just want to make her proud. She already is, James said without hesitation. Khloe looked at him surprised. How would you know? Because anyone who'd give up their dream interview to help a stranger clearly has their priorities straight. Her cheeks warmed, and she quickly sipped her coffee to hide it. What about you? I don't exactly meet many guys in $1,000 suits stranded on the side of the road, James chuckled. Fair point. I work in investments, lots of meetings, numbers, convincing people to trust me with their money. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. Still sounds like you're doing well for yourself, Khloe said, glancing at his watch, an elegant piece that probably cost more than her rent. First 20 Yo, success isn't always measured in numbers, James replied. Sometimes it's measured in the people you meet, the choices you make. The words lingered between them. Khloe shifted uncomfortably, unsure why his perspective unsettled her. Their food arrived, sandwiches and salads, and for a while they ate in silence, watching the city rush by outside. When they finished, James leaned forward slightly. I don't mean to pry, but I might be able to help you. My company works with several marketing firms. I know people. I could put in a good word. Khloe stiffened. You don't even know me. I, dasak, alsinav tas perdalat perharium subsas. You don't I don't enough? Know me. I know enough, James said simply. You're smart, resourceful, and clearly passionate about marketing. Companies need people like you. Khloe shook her head. I appreciate it, but I don't want charity. I need to earn it. James studied her for a moment, then nodded slowly. Fair enough. But the offer stands. If you change your mind. They left the cafe, the midday sun bright overhead. Khloe felt lighter, though uncertainty still tugged at her. She wasn't sure what path lay ahead, but James's presence had softened the sting of rejection. As they parted ways, James handed her his business card, in case you ever need anything. Or just want to talk. Khloe slipped it into her purse, unsure if she'd ever use it. But as she walked away, she couldn't help glancing back. James was already on his phone, striding confidently down the street. Something about him lingered, a thread connecting them, though she couldn't yet see where it led. The next morning, Khloe sat at the kitchen table, staring at the want ads on her laptop. Rita bustled around the apartment, watering plants and humming softly, her energy a stark contrast to Khloe's gloom. You didn't say much about the interview, Rita finally said, setting down the watering can. How'd it go? Khloe hesitated, then forced a smile. It didn't work out. They weren't the right fit. Rita studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Their loss. Something better will come. Khloe wished she believed that. She closed the laptop, deciding to help Rita in the shop for the day. Among the flowers, she found a strange comfort, arranging bouquets, greeting customers, breathing in the scent of roses and lilies. But the thought of Sterling's glass tower still haunted her. Around noon, her phone buzzed with an unknown number. She answered cautiously. "Hello, Khloe. It's James." Her heart skipped. "James? How'd you get my number?" "You gave me your resume yesterday. Remember, I found your contact info." Khloe bit her lip. "Right, so, what's up?" I know you said you didn't want help, but hear me out. Sterling might have slammed the door, but another firm, Astoria Marketing, is looking for someone exactly like you. Smaller company, but big clients. I can arrange an interview. Khloe hesitated, torn. "James, I don't want to feel like I got in through connections. This isn't about connections," he insisted. "I saw how passionate you are. I'm just giving you a chance to show it. The rest is on you." She sighed, then nodded to herself. "All right, set it up." The following day, Khloe found herself in Astoria Marketing's sleek but less intimidating office. The interviewers were warm, curious, and genuinely interested in her ideas. She spoke about campaigns she admired, strategies she'd implement, even pitched a mock campaign for a local brand. When she walked out, she felt something she hadn't in days: hope. A week later, she got the call. She'd landed the job. Rita hugged her tightly, tears in her eyes. "I'm so proud of you, Mija." Khloe's chest swelled. For the first time in years, she felt like she was moving forward. Her first weeks at Astoria were a whirlwind of projects and brainstorming sessions. She thrived under the pressure, her creativity finally finding a stage. Her colleagues respected her, her boss praised her initiative, and slowly Khloe began to believe in herself again. But James wasn't out of her life. He started showing up, sometimes at the flower shop to buy bouquets, sometimes outside her office with coffee. Always polite, never pushy, but present. One evening, after a long day, he invited her to dinner. They went to a rooftop restaurant overlooking the city skyline, the lights shimmering like stars. "You've been quiet tonight," James said, studying her. Khloe toyed with her glass. "I just don't get it. Why are you being so kind to me? You barely know me." James leaned back, his expression serious. "Maybe I feel like I do, or maybe I want to." The vulnerability in his tone disarmed her. For the first time, Khloe saw past the polished suit and confident smile. There was something raw beneath the surface, something he rarely let others glimpse. "James," she began, but stopped. She wasn't sure what she wanted to say. He reached across the table, his hand brushing hers lightly. "No pressure. I just want you to know I'm here." Khloe's heart raced, torn between caution and curiosity. She didn't know where this path with James would lead, but part of her wanted to find out. Weeks turned into months. Khloe flourished at Astoria, earning praise for a campaign that doubled a client's sales. Rita's shop thrived with Khloe's new marketing ideas. And James became a constant in her life, his presence both comforting and unsettling. Yet, questions lingered. Who exactly was James? His job in investments seemed vague, and sometimes, when his phone buzzed, his expression darkened before he excused himself. Khloe sensed layers she hadn't uncovered, secrets hidden behind his charming facade. One evening, as they walked through Central Park, James grew unusually quiet. Finally, he stopped by the lake, staring at the rippling water. "There's something I haven't told you," he said, his voice low. Khloe's stomach tightened. "What is it?" James turned to her, his eyes shadowed. "I wasn't just stranded that morning. My car didn't just break down. Someone tampered with it. Khloe blinked. Tampered? Why would someone do that? Because of who I am, he admitted. And the enemies I've made. The air between them thickened, the city's distant hum suddenly sharper. Khloe's pulse quickened. Enemies? James, what are you talking about? He exhaled, running a hand through his hair. I told you I worked in investments. That's true, but it's only part of the story. I manage assets for powerful clients, people who don't always play fair. Crossing them comes with risks. Khloe's mind spun. So the car breaking down, it wasn't an accident? James shook his head. No. It was a warning. Someone wanted me to know they could get close. Fear coiled in her stomach. And you didn't think to mention this sooner? You've been in my life for months, James. If you're in danger, doesn't that mean I'm in danger too? His jaw tightened. His jaw tightened. That's why I've stayed close, to protect you. When Khloe stepped back, her heart pounding. Close? To protect you. When Khloe stepped back, her heart pounding. The man who'd helped her, encouraged her, changed her path, was hiding shadows deeper than she could imagine. Protect me? She echoed. Or pull me into something I never asked for? James' eyes softened. Khloe, meeting you was the only thing that's felt real in a long time. I didn't plan it, but I can't ignore it either. I want you in my life. I just need you to know the truth. The sincerity in his voice clashed with the fear gnawing at her. She looked at the lake, the city lights reflecting on its surface. Was she ready for this? For him? I don't know what to say, she whispered. Then don't say anything yet, James replied gently. Brow, late gently. Just think about it. About us, the following weeks were a blur. Khloe threw herself into work, but James's confession haunted her. Who exactly was he? What kind of life was she stepping into? Rita noticed her distraction, pressing for answers, but Khloe kept the truth to herself. She wasn't ready to explain something she barely understood. Then one night, as she was leaving Astoria's office, a black SUV pulled up beside her. The tinted window rolled down, and a man inside handed her an envelope.